How we getting on, folks? Look at not too bad of a day. I know, say the nap and the next best didn't come in, and they were, I suppose, a little bit disappointing at the end of the day. Berry Rouge ran no sort of race, and go another one. Actually, I suppose just fell flat-footed at the end of the day. It didn't have that little bit of boot that's needed going around Thurles, and I suppose ground as well went against it with the drying ground. I was expecting it to be an absolute downpour, but it was an absolute gorgeous day out. That's just the look of the draw. It's just the way it goes sometimes. But we still managed to get two lovely winners out of it. The Shane Duffy horse that Rachel Blackmore was riding at 4-1. As well as that, we had a lovely, I suppose, gambled on bumper horse there for Gordon Elliott that won very, very easily in the end at 3-1 last night. Obviously, then as well, you have the likes of all the chimneys who, bar, I suppose, getting impeded, played a big, I suppose, hand at not actually going out and winning the race. That stayed on very, very strongly at a price of 17-2, I think it was. So look at overall, it wasn't too bad of a day. We didn't necessarily win money, but we didn't necessarily lose too much money either at the end of the day. So that's a good enough day for me, considering we got the ground conditions all wrong. Looking into tomorrow, we have, I suppose, Sligo as well as a couple of races for Cheltenham. I have previously done a video with Owen Healy Racing. That'll be going up on his social media, which I'll be sharing on mine then after that. So that's covering the first four races for, I think, first five races for Cheltenham tomorrow. So that's definitely well worth listening in. We've both put out some very good points. But I suppose we may as well kick on and I suppose crack on with Sligo at the end of the day. It looks to be really a favourites day. Not really the best for value. There is one, I suppose, at an each way price that's coming in. It looks to be, I suppose, a fairly decent sort, but yeah, I would be, I suppose, wary enough. There's not really great racing on in Sligo tomorrow, and there's not really great, I suppose, value either at the end of the day. First race off 2 o'clock, we're going to go with Crassus here at 6-5. For me personally, it looked like you had the race to lose in Ballinrobe and falling 2 out. Coming from the Noel Mead stable, obviously a man that is in serious form. Not only that, it's partnered up with Sean Flanagan, another man who is absolutely flying it of late. 6-5, it's not really a great price, but for me, it looks to be a clear-cut winner, and I definitely think at the end of the day, look at, if it comes in and you're on it, you've doubled your money. So 6-5 is still a nice enough price, and at the end of the day, that for me looks to be where the value lies. 233, we're surprise, we're going with another favourite here now. We're going to go with Call Me Lyrene at 5-4. This one here ran a very, very good race last time out. Won on debut, if I'm not mistaken, but it looks to be, I suppose, very much a horse that has plenty of improvement in it. It looked very classy that day when it won. It's not really meeting eventing, I suppose, of real standout class here. It should be able to put this race to bed fairly lively tomorrow. And for me, 5-4, it is a short price, but at the end of the day, if it comes in, you're on. You've just doubled your money. Now the 308. We're going to go with Paula's Prayer here at 5-1. This could be, I suppose, class a bit of a sneak each way here now. This one here was second the last 2 times out. If I'm not mistaken, one of those was in Sligo itself. So it's proven that it likes the track, which is, I suppose, pretty much essential for Sligo. If you have a horse that, I suppose, likes it around Sligo or has run well or even actually gone on to win in Sligo, that's half the battle really at the end of the day. I still think it's fairly fairly well handicapped. I don't think there's not really any, I suppose, there's no, I suppose, weight that's holding it back. It's just, I suppose, still on a lenient mark, and it looks to be, I suppose, just one of them ones that has a little bit of value for it each way. I think it could well go and do one better here now, and hopefully, with the help of God, at 5-1, it'll turn into a very, very nice winner. We are going to go next race. Then we're going to go with 343. Two giant favourites here at 6-4. We're actually going to go with the Fahy horse here, called the Fairies. Really and truly, it's a battle between the two, in my opinion. I think the Gordon Elliott giant favourite here with this one. I think that has slightly worse off form, in my personal opinion. I think it's just on a backward slope, really, at the end of the day, and it's not really showing any sign of improvement or progression which is what you're really wanting. This Call the Fairies has, I suppose, improved its place over the last 3 runs. It looks to be well handicapped. It looks like it's sort of way to win. It doesn't look to be, I suppose, too harsh of the weights. I think any sort of improvement, which is clear as day that it is improving, should see it run a very decent race. And I think 6-4 at that price, it's, I suppose, not really great value, but it's a tough race to call when you're trying to line up the two favourites. But I think definitely this one here looks to be, I suppose, more likely than not the horse to actually go on and win here now tomorrow. Now the 418, we are going to take a little chance here now. We're going to go with Lady of the Sea at 11-1. This one here is going to be a little each way now for us. Very unlucky last time out to finish fourth, just out of the places here at 200-1. Last time out. Really and truly, it's a horse that I suppose has become very frustrating to follow. Its last and its only win came just over 2 years ago. So when you're putting it all into perspective, it is a sort of a horse that you're more inclined to stay away from than actually get involved. But its last run clearly showed vital signs of improvement and massive improvement at that. There's already a bit of money knocking around for it, gone from 18-1 into 11-1. In my personal opinion, I think it might just go one better here now. I don't think it might win, but when you're looking at value, I definitely think it's well worth it in each way. You look at his last run, 200-1 and finish fourth. That definitely caught a few eyes that day, and in my personal opinion, any sort of improvement should see it go on to place, and I suppose go on to bigger and better things. 453 actually, we're going to go with Dennis O'Regan again with this one, hopefully to bang in a quick fire double here now with this one. We're going to go with Face the Odds at 13-8. In my opinion, going back to the Noel Meade setup, he's in flying form of late. Dennis O'Regan takes the ride for this one. It's in the same colours as I think it's Snow Falcon. I'm not 100% sure. I think Snow Falcon runs in these colours as well. Looks to be a fairly classy sort. And personally, I can't see anything else to beat it. In my personal opinion, it will take a horse to be, I suppose, out of their skin when you're looking, I suppose, at the remaining field. And the field that this, I suppose, half the odds or face the odds is coming up against. It will take one of those to be running out of their skin to even lay love in this face the odds tomorrow. In my opinion, it looks a good opportunity, and 13-8 is very much great value in my opinion. The 523 then, last race of the day, we're saving the very best to last. We are going to go with Top Bandit here now for the Gordon Elliott team. This one here is currently trading at a price of in and around 9-4. For me, I suppose, look at when you're putting it all into perspective, you are taking a chance. But someone obviously somewhere seen serious, I suppose, potential with this horse. It's well bred for a start, and the fact that it cost an excess of 100,000 in the sales last year or this year, I can't remember whether it was the yearling or two-year old sales, but um, definitely it looks to be one of the more, I suppose, uh, decent source really at the end of the day. I think 9 to 4 is great value. The favourite here for Willie Mullins, yeah, it ran third last time out behind, cost a lot more, but it was a fair distance behind it that day. I really think when you put that run into perspective, and when you put the run, it ran in Punchestown, I think it was. Um, Last time out. It didn't perform whatsoever. It just got stuck in the ground, got swamped up fairly badly, and I definitely think you wouldn't need to be, I suppose, that much of a superstar to beat this horse of Mullins is here tomorrow. And with a price tag of over 100,000, in my opinion, that screams superstar for a National Hunt horse. I think this top bandit should be able to win this race. Jamie Codd on board. Obviously, if you're watching Thurles today, you'd have seen how good Jamie Codd was there today in that favourite. I think personally they're going to gamble it heavy again now tomorrow. It could well go off at odds on, and really and truly, it should be well and truly good enough to win this race now tomorrow on debut. Now, moving on to Cheltenham, we're going to avoid the first 4 or 5 races simply because I've already done a video with Owen Healy for his page. So to respect him, I'm going to leave it out. We are going to go for the last, I suppose, couple of races here now. When you look at this here now, there's the 410. The the favourite here, Pipe Smoker, yeah, looks to be most likely the winner here. But in my personal opinion, I am very much a fan of the Skelton setup this year. They're absolutely in flying form. All you have to do is look at the strike rate for Harry and Dan Skelton between the two of them. Dan obviously being the trainer, he's currently going off a win rate of 25% over the last 2 weeks. Harry then is going off a win rate of 31%. So when you put that into perspective, they obviously have their horses well tuned and well able to go on and win races. They have a horse here in this race called Favor or something along the lines of that. Favor or Favor or something along some sort of a name like that. Anyway, I'm not going to try and butcher it anymore because I only end up will. It Like I said, look at this Pipe Smoker, the favourite here, definitely looks to be the most likely winner. But I suppose it has been very frustrating to follow. It's been favoured plenty of times before and failed to deliver at the end of the day. um, like I said, the Skelton duo are in top form. This Favor, it seemed to bump into a fairly nice sort last time out. Any sort of improvement should see this horse going close, and a 9 to 2, it definitely looks to be some sort of value. If it drifts out even more by the time you get on, I would suggest each way. It'll be going into the each way prices then. But if you can find a market now at 9 to 2 at a quarter of the odds, definitely take a little chance each way. It's not, I suppose, without a chance tomorrow. It definitely has better form going into this race than most, and yeah, it should be very, very hard to beat. We were talking about the 445 myself and Owen in this particular meeting. I'm going to leave it out. But I suppose if you want to take a look at what I think for Cheltenham, you can follow the Facebook page, not just mine but Owen's as well. Owen Healy Racing. It's on Facebook. It's definitely going to be well worth tuning into because myself and himself are going to be doing videos like this over the next few weeks, just testing the water and just seeing how it goes. 2 heads are better than one at the end of the day, and hopefully we'll be able to, I suppose, get plenty of winners. But the 5:15 race, the last race of the day, we're going to go with the Nicky Henderson. I think it's Daryl Jacob connection here. We're going to go with Nana Bell at 13 to 2. Really and truly, this horse is very much unexposed. It ran 3 times, won twice. Little bit disappointing last time out, but I think it was just, I suppose, a little bit green and a little bit uneducated. It's coming from Seven Barrows, so the education it's going to get is going to be top class at the end of the day. In my opinion, at 13-2, it definitely looks to be well worth getting on each way. Nicky Henderson obviously loves to get his winners around here. For years, he was always, um, I suppose, leading trainer before the Irish really took over Cheltenham, but we won't say too much about that. Um, but yeah, 13-2 definitely looks to be a nice each way shout here now with this one. Whether it gets into places or if it goes for a win, it's definitely, I suppose, one of the more likelier sorts in this particular race. I think it should be well tuned and well ready to go on to, I suppose, run a very big race in Cheltenham. And yeah, I think Nana Bell at 13-2 is definitely well worth looking at. But I'm going to leave it there. Make sure to keep liking, sharing, subscribing. I'm going to leave a link to Owen's Facebook page in the description below, as well as my own. Make sure to follow the Twitter at Peaky Horse. What else am I going to say? If you like the content, please make sure to keep liking, sharing, subscribing. The more subscribers we get, the better, I suppose, chance of monetizing the page, which will be able to bring back the likes of the Peaky podcast with some well-known faces in the racing industry. Get a few interviews with trainers, different things like that. So it'll be, I suppose, different content instead of just your regular tips for the more, I suppose, horsey lover or the racing lover that wouldn't necessarily be backing horses every day. It'd be a great watch for those as well. So look, please make sure to keep liking, sharing, subscribing. Yeah, I'm going to leave it there. The very best of luck tomorrow if you're going to be having a bet. And yeah, thanks very much for listening.